The year is 1996, and Mercedes-Benz just did something nobody saw coming. They took a compact roadster, pressed a button, and the entire roof folded itself into the trunk in 25 seconds flat. No canvas, no fabric, no leaks, no rattles, just cold, stamped German steel disappearing like a magic trick on a Stuttgart engineering table. That car was the SLK, and it didn't just enter the compact sports car segment. It redefined it. Before the SLK, the convertible world was split between soft-top compromise and hard-top claustrophobia. Mercedes looked at both options and said, no, we're doing neither, we're doing both. Welcome to Convertible Verse. Today we go deep, all the way into the bones of one of the most technically ambitious roadsters ever produced. This is the full story of the Mercedes-Benz SLK series and why the R170 is the smartest classic car buy of 2026. Let's start at the beginning, the R170. Produced from 1996 to 2004, this was the car that introduced the world to the Vario-roof, and if you've never thought about what it actually takes to engineer one of these things, let me break it down for you. The Vario-roof is not a party trick. It is a precision hydraulic system with multiple articulation points, two separate hydraulic cylinders doing the heavy lifting, and a pump generating enough hydraulic pressure to move stamped steel panels in a controlled, sequenced choreography. There are linkage arms, locking pins, and safety interlocks, all talking to each other every single time you press that button. And here's the thing, on these early cars, it works. That is a miracle of German engineering executed correctly on the first attempt. The man responsible for how the R170 looks is Bruno Sacco, Mercedes-Benz's chief of design through the 80s and into the 90s. Sacco believed in timeless proportion, clean flanks, a short rear deck, a nose that suggested aggression without screaming for attention. The R170 has aged beautifully because of those principles, and in 2026, it still turns heads in a car park full of modern machinery. Now, the engine. This is where it gets interesting. The base SLK 230 came with the M111 engine, a 2.3-liter inline four-cylinder, but not just any four-cylinder. Mercedes bolted a Roots-type supercharger onto this unit and called the whole package the Kompressor. And that word, compressor, became one of the most satisfying badge designations in automotive history. The supercharger on the M111 wasn't always engaged. Mercedes used a clutch engagement system, meaning the supercharger only came online under load. At light throttle, you got relaxed, fuel-efficient cruising. Bury the pedal, and the supercharger clutch engages with a mechanical click, and that distinctive supercharger whine fills the cabin. 185 horsepower from 2.3 liters in the late 90s was genuinely impressive, and the linear, accessible power delivery made the SLK 230 a joy to drive on mountain roads. But then, AMG got involved. The SLK 32 AMG arrived in 2001, and it was, in every sense of the word, a sleeper. Hand-assembled at a Falterbach, a 3.2-liter V6 with a Lissom-type twin-screw supercharger producing 349 horsepower, 0 to 60, 4.9 seconds. In a car that weighs barely 1,500 kilograms, with perfect 50-50 weight distribution and that rigid folding roof adding genuine torsional rigidity to the body structure, the SLK 32 AMG was hunting Porsches. Quietly, without the fanfare, without the wing. And that's exactly what made it dangerous. 2004. The R171 arrives, and the SLK goes to school on Formula One. The new nose design was directly inspired by the SLR McLaren, that $250,000 supercar Mercedes co-developed with McLaren. The long, tapered snout, the central air intake, the aggressive front fascia with integrated cooling ducts. On a mass-production roadster at a fraction of the price, it was a bold visual statement. Inside, the R171 brought real luxury progression. Better materials, a more coherent dashboard layout, and one genuinely innovative feature, the air scarf system. The air scarf is elegant in its simplicity. Heating elements embedded in the front headrests push a curtain of warm air across the back of your neck and shoulders. Open-top motoring at 10 degrees Celsius becomes genuinely comfortable. It's the kind of feature that sounds like a gimmick until you use it on a cold November morning on an empty road, and then you never want a car without it. The R171 lineup ranged from the SLK 200 compressor all the way up to something that made absolutely no logical sense: the SLK 55 AMG. Say that slowly. The SLK 55 AMG. Mercedes and AMG took a 5.5-liter naturally aspirated V8, the M113 E55 unit, and dropped it into a compact roadster that measures less than 4 meters in length. 360 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. This was automotive madness, executed with complete German precision. The chassis engineers had to rework the front subframe, upgrade the braking system, and dial the electronic stability control calibration with a heavy hand, because without it you could end a drive very quickly and very sideways. The exhaust note on the 55 AMG is one of the great sounds in modern automotive history. Low, authoritative, not a shriek, a rumble. Putting a V8 in a car this small was a decision that defied reason and produced something genuinely extraordinary. 2011, the R172. Mercedes made a calculated decision with this generation. Less raw emotion, more refinement, more technology. The R172 was longer, wider, and heavier than its predecessors, and it showed both in the road manners and in the way it sat in a car park. This was a grand tour in a roadster's body. The headline technology on the R172 was Magic Sky Control, an electrochromic glass roof panel available on certain variants that could switch from transparent to dark at the touch of a button. An electrical current alters the alignment of particles suspended in the glass, changing how much light and heat passes through. It was genuinely impressive technology, the kind of feature that exists at the boundary between engineering and witchcraft. Powertrain options were modern, efficient, and technically sophisticated. The M271-based turbocharged 4 cylinders produced strong numbers with improved fuel economy. The top-line SLK 55 AMG continued into this generation with revised output, but something had been lost in translation. The car was competent, but the sense of mechanical intimacy, that rawness of the R170, was gone. Then came the name change. In 2016, Mercedes renamed the SLC class to align with their new family naming strategy. The SLK became the SLC. Same platform, same basic architecture. New badge. The move made sense internally at Mercedes-Benz, but it confused buyers. The SLK name had 20 years of identity behind it. SLC had none, and the market responded accordingly. By 2020, production ended. The SLC was discontinued without a direct replacement. An era closed quietly and without ceremony. Which is a shame, because what started in 1996 as a 25-second roof trick had become one of the most technically interesting series of roadsters the automotive world had ever seen. Now let's talk real. Car guy to car guy. If you're buying an R170 today, there are things you need to know before you hand over a single euro. First, the interior trim. Early R170s used a soft touch coating on the dashboard and center console panels. Over time, and this is a well-documented issue, that coating peels. Not at the edges, it bubbles and flakes from the center outward in sheets. It looks terrible, and it is purely cosmetic, but it will affect your enjoyment of the car and your resale value. Before purchase, look at every soft touch surface with a torch. If it's peeling, factor replacement panels into your budget. Second, the Vario-roof hydraulics. The roof system that impressed the world in 1996 is now 30 years old on the earliest cars. The hydraulic cylinders that actuate the roof panels can and do develop leaks. When the hydraulic pressure drops, the roof moves slowly, incompletely, or not at all. The repair is well understood by specialist workshops. Replacement cylinders are available from both genuine Mercedes-Benz parts channels and quality aftermarket suppliers. Budget for this maintenance item. Do not ignore a slow-moving roof, because a partial cycle can leave you stuck with the roof in an intermediate position in an airport car park in the rain. Third, engine reliability. The M111 compressor engine in the R170 is one of the more robust units Mercedes produced in this era. High-quality base engineering, responds well to regular oil changes. The supercharger coupling can wear, presenting as a rattle on cold starts, but replacement is a known and achievable repair. Compare this to the M271 turbocharged engines in later variants, which introduced balance shaft module failures that can be catastrophic if ignored. On any M271 car, check the service history for balance shaft module replacement. If it hasn't been done, price it into the deal. Fourth, rust. German steel from the 1990s has specific rust risk areas. On the R170, check the sill sections beneath the doors, the rear wheel arch lips, the spare wheel well floor, and the trunk floor near the drain points. The roof mechanism housing can also trap moisture when the seals age. Light surface corrosion is manageable. Structural rust on the sills is a reason to walk away. The R171 is generally more corrosion resistant due to improved factory treatments. But the same inspection logic applies. So where does the SLK stand in 2026? The R170 is the smart money. Clean, low-mileage examples with full service history have started appreciating. The design has crossed the threshold from used car to modern classic. The SLK 32 AMG in particular is criminally undervalued for what it is. A hand-built supercharged roadster with genuine Porsche hunting performance and German build quality, available for the price of a sensible hatchback. The Vario-roof changed the convertible segment permanently. Every folding hardtop on the market today owes a debt to what Mercedes-Benz engineers solved in 1996. And the compressor engines, that supercharger whine, that clutch engage moment, there's a tactile, mechanical honesty to those cars that modern turbocharged units simply cannot replicate. If you love roadsters and you love engineering history, the R170 belongs on your shortlist. This has been Convertible Verse. Subscribe if you want more of this, and we'll see you on the next one.